I am a Candiace fan stan, um, and she might be joining the league sometime soon. I don't know, but what's up, everybody? It's me again, and it's time to lean in, bitch. It's the Real Housewives of Potomac, episode 17. Now, in this episode, Ashley finally reveals that to Candiace that she wrote this statement. We knew it was coming, we knew it was happening, and we knew that they were in dominatrix outfits, but Lord, we didn't know it was gonna go down like this. I will say the drama was not as big as I thought it would be. I feel like Candiace held back a little bit. But also she didn't have no choice because before she could do or say anything else, Ashley went to running out of the room. Candiace was upset. She was crying. She was going at it with Ashley, and Ashley just grabbed her things, child, and she just left the room. And rightfully so. She knew she was wrong. Karen had some words. Candiace felt a certain kind of way, but you know, honestly, I really can't tell you how Candiace can or should feel about this. So I think I'm just going to lean out just a little bit and let her lean in and tell you exactly how she feels. Hello, Candiace. How are you?
Hi, Cortez. I'm wonderful. How are you today?
I'm doing well. I'm wonderful, you know, in this LA weather.
Oh, yeah.
And how are you over in DC? Or are you in DC right now?
I'm close to DC. So yeah, this East Coast weather is something. We have this wind. The wind here is disrespectful. It will blow your house down, it'll blow your wig off, it'll blow your bun over. So I stay in the house because it just feels like my house is blowing down. But other than that, we're good. It's been mild lately. So I'm enjoying, a mild fall, which is always appreciated because I think the last couple of winters have been a little nutty with crazy snow, so I'm enjoying this mild winter. Yeah.
I think you're very lucky because our wind creates fires. And this is the season where the fires will really enrage because of the wind. So I would take those
Yes.
winds versus the wind we get
Silver
here
lining.
over in LA. So you are here to lean in. You know, what I do here, I lean into the drama. I lean into whatever I feel is interesting. And at this moment, not only is the Real Housewives of Potomac interesting, but so are you. I
Thank
have
you.
seeked and sought and tried to find you, and I finally have you here. So
Yeah.
I'm happy to have you here. I don't want to,
Have
go on my stand train because I can go on it for a long time. But before this, I just spoke about this recent episode. And so to get things started, I just kind of want to hear your overview and thoughts of this most recent episode as you lean in into what you took from it and how things came about.
So funny story.
Hmm.
And just this is just a little behind the scenes
Okay.
intel.
Hmm.
So we have actually, as you probably know, filmed the reunion already.
I saw the dresses.
Yes,
I
yes.
saw the looks. I did.
Yeah, there's a little bit of I've heard prom, I've heard quinceañera, I've heard a lot of different comments on
I
our
have seen
yellow
prom and
fire.
quinceañera.
Yes. But shout out to the team that put the set together. They did an amazing job.
Hmm.
So when we shoot reunion, because we shoot it obviously several weeks before the show actually ends, before the season actually ends, they give us the last 4 or 5 episodes to watch in bulk all at
Okay.
once. So, and once I watch them, because this season has been so intense and so emotionally taxing,
Hmm.
I've kind of turned it off.
Okay.
So since I've seen all the episodes, I honestly cannot tell you what happened on Sunday's episode. I don't I don't know. I think, are we still in Portugal?
You're in Portugal, and you
Okay.
find out about the statement that is written from
Right.
Ashley.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, that can we cuss on here? What are we doing?
You can do whatever you want to do. That is fine.
Yeah. That was some fucked up ass shit.
Mm.
And she knows it. Everybody knows it. Um, it was it was even more difficult to watch, I think, than it was to experience, because I didn't see the behind the scenes,
Correct.
right? I didn't see her crawling to Giselle and Robin, to tell them what she was going to do. I didn't see her sitting in her confessionals, uh, like the snake that she is, trying to convince an audience that, oh, this is so hard. I can't. When really, it was all that she could do to not ram a machete in my back and then twist it 7 times. She was waiting for that moment. It was a long time coming for her. And
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. She's foul and gross and really a sad, sick person. And I mean, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. If you look at the stock from which she comes and the company that she keeps, her spouse is just as low and foul, and I feel bad for them. But I really have had to wash my hands of all of it because it's so toxic and so disgusting and so beyond television.
I will
This was a
say, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry.
yes, no,
So,
this was
so
a
to add to that, I want to say, I guess,
yeah.
like you said, you didn't have that ability to watch it, about to happen. And I was just like, oh God, like they were doing so good, or at least it seemed like it. But even before that moment at the table, in the previous episode, that's when you were talking about becoming a parent. And that was kind of, blindsided. So how did you feel in that moment when she did kind of come left with the whole karma thing, and especially knowing that you guys had made up, you had a good moment earlier in the season. You were progressing, at least I thought, to be okay.
I think that I've said this before. It's difficult to have friendships and relationships that are positive with people that don't have a soul, that don't have a conscience, that don't have scruples, as I said on the show, or morals. And that's who Ashley is. She's someone who I think is void of all of those things. And that has been seen, I think, throughout this entire ordeal, but especially when you would take a moment that has nothing to do with you, where I am simply taking a moment to share with my friends at a dinner table, when we're supposed to be on a girls' trip that she invited us on as a let your hair down, sort of let's reconnect and let's have a good time moment. So I'm indulging and engaging you in that way. And for you to take that moment and make it into a gotcha moment. That was her gotcha moment for the show. Ashley is very good. And, I have a hard time not breaking fourth wall when you're dealing with fake, very phony, very evil people like her. And so I have to say this, that Ashley was looking for a television moment. She wanted to be able to put her stamp on that scene, and that was her way to do it. She does it at the reunion as well. She has nothing else to discuss. She's sitting back, rubbing her belly, and there's nothing going on. I don't want to give anything away. There's nothing going on there. I was going to say something I shouldn't have said, but you'll see it very soon. And she takes an opportunity to crawl into my narrative, to insert herself, because she has nothing else going on. So that was what that was at the table. She just needed to put her stamp on that scene, so that she could say that she said or did something that contributed to some BS and some drama.
So, okay, so to move a little away from just Ashley stuff, 'cause we don't really want to talk about her too much because it's not really about her.
We don't spray the cockroach.
So you have mentioned, this will be the second time you mentioned in this season that you were not preparing for a baby or a child, but you were moving in that direction. You started
Yes.
in one season with you saying you wanted to get a doggy. which I don't think you should get one because I want to get rid of mine. Um,
Hey, God, what kind of dog do you have?
he's a Chihuahua. He's over here. His name is Navy. I know I should have brought him, but he's in timeout right now. But in this scene, like, how does it? I feel like you're young. You're 33 or 34.
33.
33.
No, 34 in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Almost.
I'm 31. I feel like there is a lot of pressure on on individuals, especially women, when you're married young, that to have children. So, do you feel like
Yeah.
you experienced that type of pressure? And like with this, connecting this scene, did you feel that she was, trying to mother shame or you in that sense, So I feel like she tried to make it seem
Yeah.
like you were saying that you were having difficulties, but really you were just saying that you were at a place to where you were ready for a child, versus before.
Yeah. It's not really clear to me what her goal was with
Hmm.
her addressing me.
Hmm.
It's often par for the course in this group for these women to find anything to attack, um, even when it doesn't quite make sense. Some of it makes sense. But, I think that in this instance, being on my journey of figuring out my life has nothing to do with the dumpster fire that is Ashley's life that she chooses to share. Her husband embarrassing her down to the house every 5 minutes and putting all of their personal business and putting their family on Front Street and embarrassing the entire family with his, assault charges and stepping out on his wife while she's pregnant. Like all of that it becomes fodder because he doesn't give a damn about you, her, his wife. That was discussed amongst the group. Everyone was talking about that. So the fact that she has somehow made me the ringleader of her husband's indiscretions and us talking about his indiscretions and then trying to double back and use that as a reason to, like you said, mom shame me for simply sharing, not even directly with her because I pay her dust, but with the group, it's childish, it's sleuth-like, it's immature, and it's what someone of her caliber would do. I would expect nothing more from her, especially at this point.
Yeah. I think it's interesting seeing the dynamic of your friendship, how it was. You started because you both were young, and it was exciting to see. I think it was season 3.
She brought me into the group. She
Yeah,
was
yeah,
my
yeah,
first.
yeah. I remember y'all were friends. You all were like pageant type friends at the same time. So it was like great. I'm not saying that you guys will reconcile, but I think that you two being the youngest, and I think now Wendy is pretty young as well. I would have liked to seen that bond to stay a little stronger, but at this point, it is what it is, and that's what it's gonna be.
And it ain't what it ain't, and that ain't it.
Right. Exactly. So let's
Okay.
shift gears. Also in this season, which I actually knew a little bit exclusively, that you have secured a record deal, and you have a single out, which has been heard I think 2 or 3 times now. I think you were recording in the studio one episode, and then recently on the
Yeah.
recent episode, you were singing it. You were performing it like in Portugal. So what has
Yeah.
that been like? Moving. Because most people you don't really hear or see many housewives get into this type of musical industry. At least not in a serious way. You hear like these comedic songs, things like that. But you've really broken into it. You actually have an EP coming out soon.
I do,
So
yes.
let's talk a little bit about that in that project.
Yeah. So I've been singing my whole life. I've always been in choirs. I was in a girl group in high school. I was in the Howard Gospel Choir of Howard University in college. We traveled the world and toured, and so music has always been a part of my life. And I knew that at some point in life, I wanted to explore the possibility of producing a project. I didn't know how it would happen or when it would happen or who would be a part of it, but I definitely put it out into the universe and I prayed about it and made it something that I would be ready to receive when it was ready for me. Um, and it just one of the other things too about this show takes so much from you. it really can like complete you. It uses you. And so you have to use it as well. And one of the things I told myself was that I was going to take every opportunity to use this show to advance my career and share my talents. And the fact that I've been able to meet and be introduced to so many people in the music industry simply because of my exposure on the show is amazing. And it's one of the upsides to my network, Bravo. They really do make a concerted effort to try and help you get your passion out there. You've seen it with, Robin and her embellished hats, and Karen and LaDom, and Not for Ratchet Moms, and Every Hue Beauty, and now, Prima collection for me, and now my music. And hopefully you'll get to see a little bit of my acting journey. Maybe next season, if we have a next season. So it's been like when you said just now you have an EP coming out, I got like a little chill because
You felt the he was like, oh, I do.
like, "Oop," I got it in my shoulders.
It's exciting.
Because yeah, it's really exciting to essentially give birth to something that has been living inside of me. And I have an amazing team of people that have been instrumental in kind of helping to pull the art out of me and make it make sense and make it like look pretty, and be something that I know that I don't like to call them fans, my people, the saints. I know the saints are going to love it. And we're still actually working on a couple more songs, and having some meetings with the people about when a release and a launch would take place. I'm also working on a video for I See You, the remix. Okay. So there's a lot going on there. I want to be able to tour, and I know with Corona that it's kind of that's right now. But in the name of Jesus, we're gonna have a vaccine that works and doesn't cause us to have effects. Right. I don't want people like in 10 years grow like a third leg because of the side effects of this vaccine. So we don't claim that. But hopefully by summer of right. So I'm really excited to share the new music with you. It's all so good. It's so dope. And like, yes, it's me, but just watching it all come together with the amazing, talented producers and my co-writers and just my motivators, it makes such a huge difference in
It makes you feel like
how
it all was worth it. Like this is your third year on this show, and you've really used this platform to, like I said, come out with a whole EP. That's pretty amazing in my opinion. And the fact that you can actually sing, you're very talented. There's a lot of people out there that have EPs out there they can't sing, but you're not one of them. So that's exciting. You did mention your hair collection. Now, how do you pronounce it? Because I don't want to say it wrong.
Prima, like
Prima.
as
Okay,
in
so
Prima Bella.
So you
Prima
have a
hair
Prima hair collection coming out, and
Yes.
Karen has her wig line coming out. Why do you think she didn't reach out to you for any type, or did you guys collaborate, like talk ideas, or just like collab or anything like that?
Oh no. So, I respect Karen's business acumen. She's on her own
Yeah.
journey with her team. And she also speaks to a demographic that is not necessarily in line with my demo.
Right.
So, and there's room for, I think that's a common misconception amongst especially Black women, but just people in business as a whole, that there isn't room for everyone to grow and flourish and have success, have immense, long-standing success. And I wish that for Karen. And I'm not in the best place with her. I don't like her ass right now. But I do wish her well in her business dealings. I'm excited for her and her wig line. And it ain't got nothing to do with Prima Hair Collection. and that is just fine. And Prima is on its own journey, and we're currently revamping and adding products. We just had a meeting 2 days ago about adding some really awesome products and some special Black Friday deals for the people, for the saints. So we're doing our thing in our lane, and she's doing her thing in her lane, and it's great to see as a whole Black women enterprising and being entrepreneurs and blazing trails in our own spaces and in our own lanes.
That's true. And if if like you said, if the season returns next year, it's gonna be a lot of hair. It's gonna be a lot of hair. You have wigs, you have
Yeah.
hair collection. Everyone on this show, they're showing a lot of their products. I didn't even know honestly about Embellish until more recently.
Oh my.
I feel like I don't
Yeah.
feel like she advertised it as much, but here we are.
Yeah.
She's had a photo shoot. She's advertising it. How did you feel about her removing Karen from the? I would just say I didn't think the pictures were bad. I thought that she gave a different angle, And
Yeah.
so when
Yeah.
she took her out, I was like, well, I mean, yes, everyone is smiling. You look great. Ash looked great. Everyone looked great. But she didn't. Why do you think she took her out of the? Because Karen, obviously, looking at interviews now, she found it to be shady. But Rob is saying it wasn't shady. But
Yeah. Yes. Well, I think Karen has entered into this new space where she feels like she has to overexert herself in interviews and do too much. I don't know that she really believes that it was shady so much as she's just trying to save herself.
yeah,
I don't think it was shady. Again, it's not my business.
yeah,
That's Robin's business.
yeah.
Embellished is Robin's business. I love her hats. I own two of them. I can see why Robin chose not to include Karen. I do think the profile shot where she's sort of turned to the
Right.
side and
Yes.
looking forlorn, looking into the distance. That one was cute, but if it wasn't what Robin was looking for as far as engaging
Yeah.
her demographic and her audience, then because I think there must not have been a photo of Karen's eyes.
Of what
And
she
I
was.
my
Yes.
that Robin was looking for a look that included eye contact because a
Yeah.
lot of emotion and engagement comes through in the eyes, and that's a part of Robin's business model. And if
Yeah.
she didn't get that from one of her models, then you get the
That's true.
X, and that's
And
it's how it is sometimes. Yeah.
I thought it was fun shade. I don't think it was malicious or to be like, oh, let me take Karen
Yeah.
out because I don't think anyone dislikes Karen that much, at least at that time.
Yeah.
So I have a question as far as Wendy. You guys are friends, right? You're still good, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so to make
Yes.
sure, like, before I go in, I don't know. So Wendy's
Yes.
a doctor, and when I heard that she was a doctor, and I'm a doctor too. So I was all like, I'm going to love her. Yes, I got my doctorate last year. Yes, in December 2019. So I don't have 4 degrees. I only have 3.
That's fine.
But your relationship with Wendy, I like it. I think that she's a really good friend. I think she has brought something new to the show. And something that can stick. I know the fans, they wear her out about her mentioning her degrees, but I always defend her because I can understand what it's like to be told that you're ignorant and things like that, but you have this level of degree,
Yes.
So whereas I don't agree it should be mentioned all the time, I understand what that feels like. So just what is your relationship with Wendy? How did you guys meet? And just how is that dynamic? Because she always has your back. I feel like she's the one person this season that is like coming at whoever about you,
Yeah.
and I love it.
Yeah. Yes. No, she is the MVP for me of this season. Not just because of the way that she has supported me and had my back, but just because of the way that she came into the show. She came into this season, guns blazing, but still with her own Wendy poise and her Wendy flavor. She sprinkled a little bit of Wendy salt
And
where
she's
it needed
fun.
to be sprinkled. And she's fun, she's funny, she's beautiful, she's giving us true Black girl magic in the form of melanated magic, okay?
Very much
And
so.
I will tell you that I had spoken a few times to our friends at the network about how I think that we need to be more inclusive in our hues of Black Girl Magic on this show, because since its inception, really, well, Sharice
Yeah.
brought some brown girl in there, but there's the
When it
majority of
first
our
came out, they
cast.
were very, very light. I remember that being like a thing. People were, kind of bashing it, like, well, they all seem like the
Oh
kind of, I remember that. So I will agree. She is
yeah,
like, Therese is there, but she's like the first, like,
yeah,
melanated, true Black woman
yeah,
on the show. And
yes.
so I feel like
And that
that's one of her,
representation is
yeah,
really important.
it's
That's so
very much
important.
so.
And especially, to have this beautiful dark-skinned woman who also comes to the table with her 4 degrees and
Yes.
with her vocabulary that can put you under the table if you try her. It just, like I said, she can read a book and she can read you down.
Hmm.
And I love that because there is still this misconception and this stereotype about Black women as a whole, but then to take it a step further, of dark-skinned Black women, that they are loud, that they are uncouth, that they are uneducated, that they are not able to hang in certain circles because they don't know how to behave. And Wendy just obliterates all of those stereotypes in one fell swoop. And I love it. I love it. I
I agree.
love to see it. It needs to be seen. And I'm glad that, that she's my friend, and then I can say that, yes, this is my homegirl, this is my friend. And then just to speak on her support of me, she doesn't have to do that.
Yeah.
I don't ask her to have my back, but that's just the kind of girlfriend that she is. And it's without her, it would have been a little bit harder. So I'm very grateful and appreciative of Wendy for not checking on me and having my back only on the show, but
Hmm.
also when there are no cameras rolling, when no one is around, she has been there.
I think you two bring new fun to the show. It's 5 years, and I'm not saying the other ladies are not fun, but you know, the fun is just better.
Yeah,
In this
yeah,
last
it's a
episode,
it's a different flavor.
it's a different flavor. In the last episode, the dominatrix party, I will say you killed it. I was like watching everybody arrive, and everyone looked great, but I didn't get dominatrix from anybody, honestly, but you.
Yeah,
It was more of a
yeah,
lingerie party for most, and
right.
dominatrix for you. So
Yes.
what were your thoughts when you walked into that scene and you were dressed the way you was and they were dressed the way they were?
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm overdressed for the party, And there's this saying that you can never be overdressed or overeducated. So, I walked in, I took it in stride, and I'm going to be, the star and the winner of the dominatrix party on this evening, and that was fine.
Hmm.
But no, yes, I wish that some of the ladies had taken some more risks and taken a few more risks with their dominatrix look, because like you said, it did sort of feel like a lingerie party and really a cocktail party for
Yeah,
some. Like
yeah.
some of us didn't try at all, just showed up in a black cocktail dress, which is that's not fun at
Yes.
all. But
I'm a
we
theme
still
person.
had fun.
Yeah.
It out. Yes,
I'm a theme
but you're gonna
person,
do a
so
theme.
if I do a theme, I'm
The
gonna
theme.
show up. Like everyone knows me, it's gonna be if it's a Cortez event, it's gonna be either show
Yeah,
up or you're gonna be underdressed. It was gonna look like. So I was
yeah,
like dominatrix, but oh, it's more of lingerie, and then there's
yeah,
Candice.
yeah.
Let's play a game. So I
Okay.
have a game, and it's basically based off of like Barbies. You know how Barbie, there's many types of Barbies, right? And every Barbie type of
Yeah.
Barbie has their attire they would wear. So in this case, we're gonna call this
Yes.
Candice, not Barbie, just Candy.
Okay.
And so Candy, I have
Okay.
come up with 5 different Candices that would
Okay.
you would tell me based off the name what would they wear,
Okay. Okay.
because you're very fashionable, and I feel like you can this will be easy to do. So let's start.
Okay.
Pageant Queen Candice.
What would she wear?
Hmm. If I would go to
Pageant
the
queen
store and
can
pick
so
her up, if I would go to the store and pick her up and
yeah,
fly, what would she have on?
she would have. So this funny story. I have a Candace Barbie. So after I won Miss United States, I was gifted a Barbie. So she would wear her competition winning gown that she won Miss United States in. So it's a form-fitting, beaded, I think it was off the shoulder gown, big curly pageant hair. The higher the hair, the closer to God. And I wore these 8-inch platform shoes underneath my gown because I'm a little vertically challenged, and I had to, measure up to the taller saints. So that's what she would wear. She'd be in full evening wear, form fitting, lots of train, and giving glam pageant drama.
Crying Candiace.
Well, crying Candiace's number one prop, I don't have any tissue, is a folded square tissue. Yes.
I'll use this little
fold it up real
right here.
Yes, and it has to be a sharp corner to get in that eye. Yes, that's all she needs. Is some Kleenex.
She has to have clothes on now. She can't.
Does she? A robe. She's in a robe because she's distraught, because she's crying and something is going on. She's in a robe with a folded piece of tissue.
Okay. Well, concert Candiace.
Ooh, concert Candiace. You know what? Concert Candiace might arrive in her dominatrix outfit.
Okay. So very Beyonce-ish.
Yes. Beyonce with the thigh-high leather boots, the leather skirt situation, a nice, sexy bra that's going to give décolleté and cleavage, and a mic. She's got to have a microphone.
Okay. Are you ready for this?
Okay.
Oh, God. Cash bar Candiace. I know.
Okay. Yes.
What would she wear?
She would wear her denim and diamonds dress with her thigh-high denim boots, and she would dare you to say anything to her about her cash bar after she just spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to feed and allowed to have drinks 300 guests at her wedding. She would dare you. She dares you to say something. Because half of these women have never hosted a party and have never given an opportunity for guests to drink their bar dry. So it is what it is. They survived.
It was a nice event. I will say no one really had denim and diamonds on. You had it on, and maybe one other person. And that's another thing with themes. I was like, oh my God, no one. There was one denim and one diamond at the party.
Yes, they either denim or diamonds, but not both.
Yeah. So
just y'all didn't deserve no free liquor because y'all can't even follow a theme. How about that?
That's true. That's why I say bring a bottle sometimes. Let's talk about the recent election. So we have Kamala Harris, who is a Howard alum. You are an Howard alum as well. What does that mean to you, with the Vice President of the United States being a Howard alum, and so are you?
You know what's so funny? I was just thinking about this. I honestly feel like Kamala Harris's win is in a lot of ways overshadowing Joe Biden's.
It is. They have shirts. They have shirts that say President Kamala Harris. I don't know if that was before, but my best friend has one, and he wore it on election night. He was like, "Yeah, Kamala." I'm like, "Oh my God!" So, yes, that is true.
You gotta fight and just respect the office, because we do love President-elect Joe Biden. He has been in the political scene and realm for 20 plus years, 30 plus years. He, I believe, is going to do his very best to repair so much of what is broken in our country. His legacy will be that he helped to turn this country around and reestablish trust and rebuild relationships that were broken by the current administration. So we got to give Joe his flowers while he's here. But we also must give our Vice President-elect her flowers while she is here as well. Yes. When I tell you that on election night, the night that they called the election for Biden and Harris, we were sitting watching TV, and when she came out in that white suit and the hair is flowing, the energy is right. I cried. I cried.
Oh
I
my
cried. I had my
goodness.
and yeah, just dabbing in those dots, honey. Because it was it's a historic moment, and we've had a lot. I think our generation is definitely spoiled with a lot of really truly historic moments. Having our first Black president, living through a crazy pandemic, living through a Trump presidency and all that has entailed, living through this resurgence of the Black Lives Matter movement and everything that has come along with that. There's just so many historic moments that have taken place in our lifetimes. And now adding to that we can say that for the first time ever, we have a Black and Asian woman who is serving as the vice president of the United States. And if things go well, maybe she'll be able to run and slide right into the presidency.
Exactly.
But let's focus on being VP first. So it was a incredible moment. It's an incredible time to be alive. I know for a fact that watching her, it just gave me so much pride in being a Bison. And I went online and spent like $400 on Howard paraphernalia, just like to satiate my love and my pride in my university, and to know that I walked the same yard as our now vice president elect, and I sat in some of the same buildings, same classrooms as our vice president elect. It's incredible to think about, and it reminds me of how it makes me pat myself on the back. Like, I come from good stock.
I'm going to ask you another question, but we're going to be shut down pretty soon. Biden, when he gets in office, he's going to close some things down.
Yeah,
when things are back open, what is like the first thing you want to do when you can get back outside, like really outside, and have
So one of my favorite pastimes is eating out. If I could eat
you
out,
guys can't eat out there?
well, we can, but we're very careful.
Okay.
We don't go out as much as we used to have a date night every Wednesday at the bar, and we're just in an effort to be safe and not spread the virus and sort of follow the CDC guidelines. You're supposed to stay at home as much as possible. So one of the luxuries that we've given up is eating out and going out and having a drink at one of our favorite local bars. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, is luxuriate at either RPM, which is Juliana Rancic's Italian restaurant in downtown DC, or L'Oreal Plaza, which is like our resident Latin cuisine, upscale Latin cuisine restaurant, and just sit there for hours and just order everything and drink and then pass out in an Uber. Yeah.
Well, don't throw
That's
up Uber.
first.
There's a charge and a fee if you throw up in Uber.
No, pass out. Pass out. No,
Okay.
no, I hate throwing up. It's like my least favorite thing.
How was the set after the fight in general? Just how were you? We saw you going through therapy, and in this recent episode, you mentioned that you were like having like almost like PTSD just over the whole incident, and where you were just mentally distraught from it.
It was hard. It was awkward. It was weird. I think everyone was shaken up. It was different for me because I didn't really see everything because my head was down. But everybody else who saw what happened, they were horrified. They were horrified and angry and embarrassed for our show, for our group, that this was going to now live in infamy on tape, and be a part of our legacy, which is, I think, the hardest part of it for me, is that this will forever be a part of my legacy, our legacy, and it's not something that I was raised to.
Yeah,
I mean,
you don't do that, and I could tell when she said, she was like, "We don't do that." That's what she said.
Yeah.
You said, your exact words was, "I don't do scrapping in the car."
I don't. No, yeah. No, we were raised, me, my siblings and I, to fight with our words. We've always valued education in our household and in our family. And with that, with an education comes an ability to fight with your words and to use your vocabulary, um, and the empowerment that you get from your vocabulary and from your education to communicate whatever it is that you're feeling, what you're going through. And that's how I was raised. But obviously, when you put a group of women together, you realize, who was raised right and who wasn't raised at all. And here I am interacting with someone who clearly has done a good job of panhandling across these United States, that she appeared to be raised, but she wasn't. And it all came to a head when true colors showed themselves. And it really rocked the entire group for, as you've seen, the remainder of the season.
I will say you're really good with your words. I like to say I'm similar. Like, I can read and shade. Now I can, go the other way too, but normally, like, it never gets there because I will cut you so deep. I'm a Scorpio. Do you feel like there's do you feel like there's anything that you have, is there any time you feel like you went too far, looking back at anything in the last 3 years that you went too far in saying, and that you would either take back or say you regret?
Anything that I've said, no. No, I said what I said. Most often, I was defending myself and responding to something that someone had said to me. And I mean, it's been said. And there's been a lot of talk about my tweets and me calling Ashley a roach. Well, she is a roach. She's
that type of thing, I'll just say is that that's very true. You have to, when people come at you, you have to defend yourself. I think it's kind of, when you came, like I said, when you came on the show, you guys were friends, but in last season things went left. But a lot of people last season were saying that you were Ashley's karma, because before you got there for 3 seasons, they were saying that the things that you were saying to her is like she had come for all these other women. So nobody really felt bad, about it. But now that she's had a baby and I guess she's turned over a new leaf, I'm not really sure. It's just that things seem to be so much. Now. I know, and that's a problem for me. And now she has 2. Are you gonna get her a baby shower gift? Are you close or identified with any other housewives from any other franchises?
Yes. So I haven't talked to her in a while, but I love me some Tanya Sam.
Okay.
She's so fun, from Atlanta Housewives. I also am friends with Drew Sidora, who's also one of the newbies.
That's exciting.
Wives. Yes, and she's super sweet. She's feisty. She's from Chicago, honey. She's gonna get you together. So I'm excited to see.
She's from Chicago. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. No, she's great. So I love those girls. I'm not friends with Kenya, but I did do a show with her, and she was so sweet. She gets such a bad rap, and I always wait to have my own personal interactions with other housewives before I make a final final verdict. And Kenya was so sweet to me. She was very supportive. We had a nice little chat, and she's a professional on set. She works well with everyone on set, and it was great. So I think those are the ones that I have personal relationships with.
In regards to Kenya, a lot of fans, they say that, not that they compare you to, but they do. They feel like you are the Kenya of this show.
Yeah.
I don't think you are the Kenya of this show. I don't dislike Kenya. I think some things she do is not right, but I don't think you come close to the type of things that she has done. But what do you feel about that when they compare you to someone that has a bad rap?
Yeah. Well, let me be clear. I am referring to the Kenya that I met in the world. I met her on set for a Netflix show called Family Reunion, which stars Tia Mowry and Loretta Devine and Richard Roundtree.
You are
We
in
shot
that?
in LA the year. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So they had to shut down production because of COVID, obviously, and they have some legendary seasoned folks, aka Loretta Devine and Richard Roundtree on their set. So of course they had to shut down until it was safe to come back, and they just came back to finish filming season 2. So that should be coming out hopefully sometime next year when they're finished filming. But yes, I'm referring to the Kenya that I met in that. That Kenya was professional. She was kind. She was very sweet. I can't comment on Kenya on Housewives.
Correct.
I don't know her.
That's true.
And I don't.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I don't think that we are the same. I don't think that. I think Kenya is very brash, and she comes on very strong, and she doesn't hold back at all, which we are similar in that way.
Yes, and that.
But yes, and I own that. I don't hold back. I defend myself. I say what's on my mind in defending myself. But as I like to say, my porch light is always on. I'm always home. If you come to my porch, I'm going to answer my door. If you don't come to my door, we don't have any problems.
Exactly.
But if you show up, she's always going to answer the door. And I think Kenya has a similar mantra, but I think that's where the similarities kind of end. And then the pageant girl thing, we have that in common. But outside of that, no, Kenya is her own woman. She has solidified her legacy in the Housewives franchise. Love her or hate her, she's here, and she's not going anywhere unless she wants to.
I don't think that.
Yeah.
But, I like you. I can't speak to the other person, but I like you.
Yeah.
I guess to wrap things up, you have this new EP coming. You have a single out right now, and a remix. You have an upcoming movie, I believe.
The Christmas Lottery. The Christmas Lottery. Yes. So we shot that about a month ago. So that will be airing on BET and BET Her on December 12th. I believe at 8 o'clock, but check local listings, obviously. It stars Reginald Vell-Johnson, as you all know from Family Matters. He played the dad on Family Matters, our dad. Kay Megan plays our mother, and then it's myself, Asia Epperson, and Brave Williams. So the three of us are sisters, and I play Tammy, the youngest sister. And it's a really amazingly well-rounded movie because you're going to get a little bit of tragedy, a little bit of heartbreak. It's super funny. It's clever. And it's interesting, and it's just a great representation of a Black family figuring it out and learning from each other and having some growing pains and just getting to and through with each other. And I, for one, am obsessed with Christmas. I love Christmas. So the fact that I got to
Christmas this year with the pen, I'm scared, but
yeah. That's the thing. So that's why I'm really so excited about this movie, because it is going to be a different Christmas for a lot of us. We're not going to be able to see our loved ones. For example, we always go home to where my mom is from in Alabama to see my grandmother. And my mom is one of 5. My grandmother is one of 11 or 12. So we have a big family, but we can't go see my grandmother because we have to keep her health in mind. And I know that's going to be hard for a lot of families to not be able to keep the traditions they normally keep. But that's what makes a Christmas film like this so awesome, is because I want to be able to say that I contributed to taking your mind off of the fact that you're maybe not having the most ideal holiday. And for a lot of people, the holiday season is already hard, right? And, being in a pandemic and not being able to move about as you would, it's going to be a great family-oriented film to help take your mind off of the drama
all of the
of
noise.
season. Yeah.
With the new EP, with the hair collection, with the new movie coming out, and then I'm sure there'll be future acting gigs that will come along as well. What is next for Candiace? And would you and are you open to returning to Potomac next year if there's a next season?
Yeah. So what's next for me is my EP, my impending EP, which could also possibly be an LP. We may have enough goodies to bring a whole album. That's we're still figuring that out. Look for a music video for "I See You" the remix featuring Big G and Uno, and touring. I really am praying that we're able to get back out into the world and I'm able to do a 5-city tour, and just really share, really truly in live and in living color, share my new music with you guys. Look for my Netflix debut on Family Reunion. That should be coming out hopefully early next year. And the Christmas Lottery, as I said, December 12th on BET and BET Her. Look for that. And there may be some other acting gigs in the mix and in the works. I'm always going to, I'm never not going to act. You're always going to find somewhere in the background or in the foreground. So look for some more projects on that front. And as far as returning to the show, we'll see. We shall see. It's all kind of up in the air. We haven't even been given a green light for a next season yet. So that has to happen first.
If everything was good, would you want to return?
If everything works out the way that it should work out, then yes. Okay. We'd love to return.
We would love to have you back.
Yeah.
I think from season 3, you're not an OG to this particular season, but I think you've made your place in the group. You've made these last 3 seasons be really good, interesting, and regardless of what anyone says, I think you're very valuable to the cast. So,
thank you for saying that.
With that being said, we are about to, as in you and I, are about to lean out. We're about to get out of the drama because it is a lot going. We have talked about a lot. We have discussed a lot, and honestly, I have nothing else to drink in my in my invisible tea mug.
Yes.
Anything else you want to add, Candiace?
No, again, thank you for having me. I'm really excited I got a chance to chat with you and lean in with you. Yes. And I look forward to coming back and leaning in some more because it's always more drama to talk about.
And I'm always here for some drama, good fun drama, and, a little mess and shade. But other than that, I'm always here in good spirits. So thank you for coming. And until then, we will see you later.